Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and I had to change up today's video. I was going to do a interrogation of the Rose Tico action figure, but I went to the wrong grocery store. I thought it was at another one. So there's one of the grocery stores near my son's school that has like dozens of them. So I was going to go buy one and then open it up and demand that the Rose Tico action figure justify its own existence. But I was never able to do that. I'm looking forward to that. So then I noticed that there was actually a good amount of Star Wars news right now, although it's really public relations style repair. So the writer-director of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson, who did a movie I love called Brick, he's getting some healing. He's getting some love. The mainstream and the geek mainstream are teaming up to say, "Hey, we like this guy," and the fans are saying, "Oh, oh no, we've got some issues." So, my history with hey, the hell! I just noticed something. Ram Bergman, Rian Johnson. They have the same face. This is what Christian Bale was pulling off in The Prestige. Rian Johnson's his own producer. He's like, somebody's like, the producer said you can't do that, Rian. And he goes, oh, let me go see if I can find him. And then he goes, he puts on this wig, he comes back out, and he's like, Rian can do whatever he wants. Oh man, that's how these people do it. They hide it in plain sight. But anyway, so with The Last Jedi, I had a very, very strange reaction. I didn't really like Force Awakens, and I went into Last Jedi, and I came out with a very elated, feeling, and then I never saw it again, even though I had many, many, many chances to see it again, and see it for cheap, and see it for free, and I just went, meh, which is a really weird feeling. And now, even when I'm like, the only part I like is somebody puts the fight scene with Kylo Ren and Rey in the Swag Lord's throne room, and they set it to, I believe it's Queen, and that's pretty fun. It actually matches the beat pretty well. But anyway, Rian Johnson was not popular with the Star Wars fans because of things that they felt was a little too clever. You know, the fans wanted Luke Skywalker to actually be on the planet and then die heroically in battle. They didn't want him to force project and give himself a forced haircut. And then he gets there and he was just he was just a social experiment, bro. So there's two articles today in the same day, which just spells one thing: collusion. Or really the media, the studio go, oh my God, we need to repair his rep. We want to kind of rewrite history where he was kind of super popular and everyone liked him, even though they're hiding the fact that he's pulling a Prestige on us. He's his own producer. Anyway, in IO9, Rian Johnson understands what Star Wars needs to do in order to survive. So one of the things they're really trying to repair is they've already committed to giving Rian Johnson his own trilogy, although still to be defined, which is supposed to be new characters. I'm pretty sure J.J. Abrams is coming back for the next Star Wars movie, so just get right in and do a reaction to these two face-saving articles. In the last 3 years, we've had 3 Star Wars movies come out, and the 4th is just months away. Oh, yeah, nobody cares. Where's the actual article? Speaking at South by Southwest, oh yeah, I went there a couple weeks ago here in Austin area, and I got to meet Frank Miller. Seriously, it was like one of the greatest moments of my life. As part of the publicity for the movie's home release, Rian Johnson said that there's something Lucasfilm understands it needs to start doing more of to avoid a dreaded Star Wars fatigue. And then he says, when people ask me, don't you think people are going to get sick of Star Wars movies? To me, that question indicates they're thinking of Star Wars movies as a museum exhibit that is wheeled out once a year so you can say, oh, I love that thing. Oh, I remember that thing. Ooh. Oh, careful, Ryan, careful. You're on a very, very narrow ledge right now. And yes, if Star Wars is that, people are going to get sick of it really quickly. But if Star Wars are great movies that are exciting and fresh, and that challenge you and surprise you and make you feel things, engage you the way that those original movies did, but always taking you to new places, both in the galaxy and emotionally, that's never going to get old. That's what it's all about. That's actually a good answer that does not explain Rostico at all. One of the things, this is a forward question. It's not like, hey, you did your one Star Wars movie and we're done. It's like, ooh, we already signed the contracts. We already committed to like another $1 billion worth of filmmaking with this guy. So let's get him out there to get the right thing without ever talking about what you did wrong. So I've alluded to this, and I'll do other videos about this. When George Lucas did A New Hope, he got hit. Where's all the black people? So what he did is he came up with Lando Calrissian. And everyone loves Lando Calrissian, and he's a great character, and he's depth. We need to talk about Rose Tico. Rose Tico is one of those things where I was like mildly annoyed, whatever. I liked other aspects of Last Jedi. But the more I think about it, it is the most insane, backwards, poison pill you could take. And you gotta admit that what you do, you just basically gave the anti-Rose Tico equation without explaining why you basically bet the farm on that character. We've known Johnson himself is already working on a movie saga that promises to uncover Star Wars tales in parts of the galaxy previously unexplored, asking the challenging question of what defines the very essence of Star Wars when you strip away the familiarity of the Skywalker saga. That's the sort of question that will need answered soon. Star Wars cannot simply get by on exploring the lives of familiar faces and the stories surrounding the fringes of events we've already seen if it's going to keep up. Yeah, whatever. This is just written by the studio. So to that end, I have always loved the non-Jedi part of the Star Wars universe. So I am just fine with having them be a little hint at the corner. But I am excited about seeing another part of the Star Wars universe. Do I think I want to see Rian Johnson do it? No. I want to get, what's his name with the cowboy hat, who did Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebel. That's Dave Filoni. That's the guy I want to go do 3 more movies with. I feel like Rian Johnson was kind of a one and done experiment. We in our college years, we were experimenting with Rian Johnsoning, and then we found out that it was ultimately quite disappointing, despite the high highs. So let's move on to the more formal PR flak repair job for Rian Johnson. Ethan Van Sciver, who's been doing a lot of Star Wars videos, he got me into it. He has insisted that Rian Johnson has a perfectly round head. I am going to call shenanigans on that. It is only the cranium part that is perfectly round. His, I don't know, his bottom half of his face is more kind of shovelly. So, what? Okay, I have a couple questions here, and they're really minor, but they're huge questions too. What kind of article gets released at 3 a.m.? What is this, like a college paper that you were supposed to turn in by midnight, Jen Yamato? And you're just like, oh, as long as I turn it in before the professor wakes up. He's pretty lenient. That'll help. Also, LA Times, Austin, Texas. Okay, so it's on the other side of The Last Jedi. Director Rian Johnson found the Star Wars journey he was looking for. Ooh. Okay, so 4 years ago, he walked in a meeting with Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy, then looking to hire new blood to film the 8th Star Wars film. What they really need to do is they had already commissioned the director's hat, and instead of for being a normal human head shape, it was actually perfectly round at the top, and they had to find, oh boy, that thing is really round. Oh my gosh. So anyway, this is what is a little bit surprising. 4 years ago, that seems like a while ago. I guess it wasn't that long ago. So that was probably just coming off Looper, which kind of was like, had a good trailer, but is ultimately pretty disappointing. That seems to be a trend. So let's see. So he starts the interview by being cute, saying, "What could possibly be left to talk about at this point?" There's actually more to talk about with The Last Jedi now than before the movie came out and even while it was going, because it's very, very, very controversial. It's very polarizing. Definitely the most polarizing Star Wars, geez, anything besides a Christmas special. It's a bittersweet feeling. Oh, so he's saying like the publicity rounds for the DVD are like his last connection. The past month, I do find myself waking up with a strange sense of emptiness. That's because it's called being hungry, dude. That's like, yeah, all humans have that. Your stomach's empty, so you go, makes Pop-Tarts. I think it's mostly just having had a purpose for the past 4 years, having this singular goal, and now it's immediate. Like, oh gosh, get over yourself. You finished this movie like a freaking year ago, Roundhead. There he is. Trying to trick us. He's actually the exact same thing. Yeah, okay. God, so many stupid puns. 4 months ago, Johnson and Bergman were writing a Kessel Run of emotions. God. Scrolling down some more. Soon enough, Johnson's installment broke records on its way to becoming the 9th highest grossing film of all time. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Your kids play with Star Wars. Who cares? Why don't you talk about the movie and the reaction? That's the interesting thing to talk about. There's the crystal wolf that nobody cared about. Like kids in a sandbox, Johnson and Bergman delighted in introducing new ideas, like a female hero whose face was as wide as an IKEA desk, sometimes with subtle forcefulness. What? Subtle forcefulness? It's like when I was watching a making of for Star Wars Ship Troopers and they described something as a giant miniature. Gently urging veteran department heads to think outside the box on costuming, casting, and design. Not really. It was just slight changes on things from the OT. But okay, so here's where here's where the meat of it. But some of Johnson's radical concepts don't fly so well. For instance, his decision to make Luke Skywalker the reluctant Obi-Wan of the new trilogy, a disillusioned rebel hero who has renounced the Jedi way and only begrudgingly comes to mentor young heroine Rey. Okay, Johnson says it was definitely a thread throughout the whole making of the film, and it was a conversation with Mark throughout the whole thing. That is a very, very, very politic way of saying it took me 4 years to convince him to do something, and he didn't want to do it, and now in every other interview, his true feelings bubble up before like the studio PR Flacks go, Hey, who doesn't want a free lunch if you keep talking like that, Marky? We talked about it. We thought through it. We butted heads about it. We did all the stuff you always do with an actor with a part. Yeah, whatever. Even when we were having conflict about it, it was constructive in terms of me having to articulate why I made the choices I made. I do think that comes across in the doc. Okay, so I guess they're talking about the making of. So he's talking about getting Misty Eye when he saw Carrie Fisher. All right, so something didn't quite click in the way the story unfolded with the caretaker's very own Yub-Nub, which led to a confrontation between Rey and her Jedi mentor. In cutting it, Johnson explained he learned a valuable lesson. In the context of the movie, it obviously felt off. When he used... Oh, God, this guy's boring even when he's talking. Blah, 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 some behind-the-scenes fun stuff. Where's the weight? Like, where do you going to talk about what really happened? I mean, there's actually really interesting things in getting something out there. So I have a regular job, but I do comics as a hobby and kind of a side job. And one of the biggest things about a story, anything you create, is you have in your head this idea of how people are going to react to it. And it's going to be really great. People are going to love it. And then you get their reactions. And one of the things that are great about people's reactions is that they're very honest. They say, this sucked. Or they say, That was awesome until it sucked. Or they say, why did you do that? That sucked. Or they say, that was really cool. I really liked it. And you go, huh. You need to have some sort of adjustment. This reaction he has 4 months later is the reaction he had back in the day. I used to watch like every single, or listen to every single commentary track. And the thing about the commentary tracks, at least like 5-10 years ago, is they used to always record them like the week before the movie came out in the theaters. So everyone is always very up. Like even the biggest flops are like, I am so excited about John Carter. It's going to be a Star Wars for a new generation. Like they are just happy. But you've had 4 months to deal with a very, very controversial story. And there should be something more interesting to, we butt at heads, but we're still frenzies, and I made all the right decisions. Admit you made wrong decisions. Admit you say, I don't know why we purposely made Rose Tika dowdy and dumpy. Like, why did we do that? Everyone else is dashing or beautiful. Why did we take the first Asian, hero, blah, blah, blah in Star Wars? And why didn't we make her look like that? Like, they actually made her look worse than when you see her in any of the publicity, like her, real world photos. Oh God, okay. We need some directand who aren't white dudes, he said emphatically, in spite of Lucasfilm's track record to date of hiring only white male directors. And Kathleen Kennedy knows it too. It just happens to me. I mean, come on. It has to happen. That's not how you... No. Oh, baby, what is you doing? You don't say stuff like this. What you say is, we're open to everyone for the next movie. And guess what? In a country that's majority white, where guys who are into Star Wars and stuff, still majority white, it's honestly probably going to be, statistically, you just draw them out of a hat, the qualified ones, it's going to be white guys. I hate this type of talk. This, like I said, George Lucas reacted to questions of where are all the black people in A New Hope, where he put Lando Calrissian in some background extras and he made him black, but he made it a good character. You just don't do this. We need some directors who aren't white dudes. Come on, get the hell out of here. The thing is, I don't feel that the powers that be are pushing back on new or unprecedented stuff. Quite the contrary. I feel like Disney and Lucasfilm and Kathy are actively looking for filmmakers and voices that are going to push it forward because they know that's the only way to stay alive. That's a good answer, but you just revealed the problem right there, that you're focusing too much on race and gender and not on quality and what makes something Star Wars. It's a kind of a weird feeling. You can have lightsabers, you can have TIE fighters. Some things feel like Star Wars and some things just don't. And that's what you need to concentrate on. Okay, so you wrap that one. Oh, unlimited digital access for just 99 cents. Are you serious? What a fantastic deal. But anyway, so tell me what you think about this Rian Johnson PR flack publicity machine kicking into, I wouldn't call it high gear. It was very lackluster. They're like, oh, we gotta do something about, let's try to, no, this was not to do it. Honestly, you know what, seriously? One of the best things that people love this. People love honesty. Have this conversation. He goes, man, I thought people were going to really dig what I did with Luke Skywalker. Like a lot more than they did. They really didn't like that. And Rose Tico was a mistake. I don't know why we made an average-looking woman look way below average. And also, the thing she said to Finn at the end absolutely made no sense. His plan to destroy the laser cannon definitely would have worked. If you fly any obstruction down a breach in a projectile shooting weapon, a beam weapon, anything, if you block the barrel, if you block the breach, it's going to explode. He would have died, but he would have saved everyone's life. But so, tell me what you think about this video. Tell me what you think about Rian Johnson doing 3 more movies. I got to tell you, I'm not one of those guys who hated all of Last Jedi. there were some parts that I was really, really excited. It is very, very telling that I never went to go see it again, even when I was just blocks away from the theater, free time, matinee prices, the whole night. So tell me what you think about this video, and I'm going to try to find that Rose Tico action figure tomorrow and make her explain herself to you, the movie-going audience. Thanks for watching.